Okay guys, good evening and welcome to my review and unboxing of the First Corps Elephant model. Purchased this year 2020 at the York Wargaming Day, held every February in York itself. Really good Wargames Day if you're up this way. Was looking for a different elephant model to paint and saw these on the First Corps stand and thought, oh, these are really good, I'll give them a go. So I ended up buying 6 of them. Available in all different shapes, sizes and designs. Right from injured and dead elephants up to through the unarmoured and into the armoured, plus you get variants of each particular one. This one here is what I'd like to class as a stomping elephant. As you can see, he's got his front leg raised there like he's about to squash an enemy soldier. Indeed, when I paint this, and I will be putting a video on later of it being painted, I do intend to put a model underneath here that's going to be getting stomped by this particular elephant, just for a bit of variety and just to change the painting style. The model itself, very detailed, more or less a one-piece casting, obviously missing its trunk and tusk, which comes separately. I'll show you those in a second, but I'll just give it a quick spin round so you can see all the detail on this model. Really well detailed, one complete piece. Even the howdahs are fixed to the top. Really good detail, including inside the howdah itself. You've got really good woodworking in there. Superb model. Couple of little points that I just have to point out being a review video. You've got a little bit of flashing, so you just need to be able to run across it with a knife. You can see in between the legs there, a little bit of flashing that needs to come off. And I think with these being a large one-piece casting as well, it's inevitable, but I did find some air bubbles on most of these models, not all of them. And if you can just see, tip of my finger there, there's an air bubble sort of on the belt there, just running round, and there's some. They've all had a few air bubbles on. Just be aware, you need really put anyway when you're putting the tusks and trunks on, just to fill the gaps. It's just worthwhile running round, just spending a couple of minutes just filling those. Doesn't detract from the model itself. The models are really good, but just be aware that there's a little bit more work in there, just bringing them up to a good standard. So all in all, a really good model. Inside the pack, you get metal trunk, which needs putting on, just needs filing down on the end, and then obviously filing down on the attachment on the elephant. And then I found, just with super glue and a little bit of filler, adheres really well and holds into place. Bit more tricky with the tusks. If you look here, here's one of the tusks. You get 2 of these in the pack, and if you look on the end, you can see there's a little recess there. What basically that does, it's designed to go into the model in the recesses there, and what I found was they just needed cleaning out those recesses with a modelling knife and a drill. I actually drilled them out and then just ran them round with a modelling knife, and then these fitted perfectly into the recess. It's just a little bit of work there. No need to pin them once you've done that. I would just like to have seen this sort of recess on this particular one, just to have been a little bit deeper, to give them a bit more of a better hold. And if you didn't want it that, you could have cut it off. Just double the length for that would have been nice, but they work okay. Just a little bit fiddly putting those in. Now, just like in good old Blue Peter style, I'll just move that one out of the way and bring in one that I did earlier. So here's one that I've already sort of got based up and got the base coat on it. I've attached the trunk and the tusks in the way that I said before. Really on there solid. They're not going to move anywhere. Initially I scrubbed this down with a toothbrush with a little bit of detergent on, and then airbrushed it with a grey base primer. Did mention about the air bubbles. This one, if you can see underneath there, had some air bubbles on the belly, and it also had some air bubbles on the bottom of the foot. It's not an issue, it's not a problem. It's just, keep that in mind when you're modelling these. All in all, really good detailed models, and like I say, they come in pretty much lots and lots of different designs. So you get that one in this particular armoured range, and then you get this one as well, all 4 feet on the ground. Fits in really well with that other model. So if you wanted a unit that was slightly different, then these ones would fit the bill. This one's got a slightly different howdah, slightly different designed howdah, but more or less the same model, and would fit together really well, especially if you painted them in a similar fashion. So really good models, really detailed. Now, on top of the actual elephant themselves, you buy the crew separately, so you can decide which crew to put in. You get a guy here holding a spear or a pike, Another guy there holding a spear or a pike. I'll just move that one out of the way and put him in so you can see him. There's an archer. You can buy, you know, 3s and 4s. You don't have to buy threes. But generally you get a few crew, plus you get the rider as well, and there's the rider. In the pack alongside those you get a few shields. You get, in this particular one, there's a little spear, and there's also the weapon there for the actual driver himself to be holding. So that's the crews. One other thing, obviously because these are holding pikes, there's a couple of wire pikes in with the pack as well. Find these really good, because obviously unlike the old lead ones, the plastic ones, these wire ones just don't break, they don't bend, they don't get out of shape. Just got to be careful you don't catch your fingers on them, which anybody who's modelled these is fully aware is a occupational hazard with them. Okay, I'm going to bring in now one of the Hail Caesar ones. These are ones that I very often have painted. So here's a Hail Caesar, and as you can see, that's a Hail Caesar, and against these they fit in really well. Very much same size, and you could actually, if they had the Hail Caesar ones, if you look, the Howders exactly the same height, figures are at a similar scale, and actually you could put these together in a unit and they would look, especially painted, if it was painted in the same style, they would look really well together. So that's one of the Hail Caesars against that one, just to show you that the scale is very good at 28mm. Really good models, definitely worth a look. I'll put a link in the bottom of the video description to take you to the website if you decide to have a look at these. By all means do, guys. Very good elephant models. I'll be putting more on of these being painted, so please tune in again. Been a pleasure to talk to you all this evening. Take care and bye bye for now.